Amazon, Broccoli Family, MGM, we have some things that we have to discuss. Welcome everybody, I'm RJ of the Nerdy Brew, and here on this channel we talk TV, movies, and everything in between, all while drinking a cup of coffee. Now if you like one of those things or all of those things, why don't you consider subscribing, and hit that notification bell and becoming a fellow Brewster. So today, fellow Brewsters, I want to thank you for stopping by. I hope all is well with you. I appreciate you for taking time out to have some coffee with me. I wanted to share my thoughts now that I got you here. We're having a coffee talk about James Bond. And so the other day I was cleaning and I was just alone in my thoughts, and I was thinking, I haven't heard any news about James Bond recently, and I got to thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder what that future may look like. And so I just wanted to bring that up to you guys and wanted to share my thoughts. For those unfamiliar with James Bond, he's a fictional character created by British author Ian Fleming in 1953 with a series of books. The first James Bond film was Dr. No in 1962, starring Sean Connery. Since then, several actors have portrayed James Bond over the years, including Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, James Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig. Each actor has brought their own unique interpretation to the role, contributing to the character's ongoing popularity throughout the years. Bond is a British secret agent who works for MI6, the British intelligence agency. He's known for his code name of 007. James Bond is often portrayed as a charming womanizer, a skilled marksman, and an expert in hand-to-hand combat. He's also known for his luxury cars, gadgets, and high-tech weapons. The character's suave persona, action-packed adventures, and iconic catchphrase
Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
have become part of popular culture. We all know his drink, martini, shaken, not stirred, and it is delicious. Daniel Craig is the last Bond as of now, and the franchise is currently a limp. There was talks on the internet of people wanting Idris Elba as the new James Bond, and there were also others that were against it. Those people were purists. You know, we hear them a lot of times in the background. With that being said, I agree. James Bond is white and he's Welsh, and also Idris Elba said he wouldn't do the role. But my idea, instead of race swapping Idris Elba as Bond, allow him to be his own double agent. I don't know, Idris Elba as Agent 009, Marcus Cypher in Deadly Mirage. I'm just guessing along the line, but it can make it an exclusive for the MI6 agency and a sequel for the Daniel Craig era. It could be a one-off film series depending on performance and reception. I don't know what that looks like as a story, but maybe Mark Strong as the villain, growing out the universe, having its own identity. We can have Bond women, maybe Naomi Harris return as Moneypenny, maybe even Yaya DaCosta as the villainous Bond woman. There's always one.
Senor, I can't breathe.
And don't forget a distinguished villain henchman. And we can have Ray Fiennes return again as M, keeping the spirit of Bond, but keeping it refreshing to live as something new. And speaking of something new, I was actually thinking of a 007 series, maybe making it in an anthology series. We can start with Lashana Lynch. Her character is actually already established inside of the film series, but to be honest, I don't believe her having a theatrical run. I don't think that would be successful to make any money. We could look at films like Proud Mary, Columbiana, and Widows. They weren't box office juggernauts, and I love all three. But if we have a series for 8 episodes, it makes it bingeable. It allows her character to be actualized and not flounder in just the one film that we seen her in is 007. So it'd be able to put her in a place where she could be her own character, so we can see her grow to know what kind of 007 she is, not being attached to James Bond. So then I was thinking probably like the next season, and this is why I said it would be anthology, could be a different time period, the 70s with Henry Golden. The 70s had flower power, drugs, political unrest, political scandals, and the Vietnam War. And with Henry Golden during that time period, it's like, what does the spy world look like? What does a secret political climate look like for an Asian man serving queen and country as a minority? Make that an 8-episode situation, build it out, make it exotic, build into the culture of the 70s, and we could still make it 007 during like the Roger Moore era, man with the golden gun, having it travel to different locations and still have the aesthetic and time and fashion of the 70s. Damson Idris just had a wonderful 5-year run as Franklin Saint from the show Snowfall. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. And he's great in it. And he's actually a British actor. And so I don't have too much on him or what I think the story could go. But maybe him being a rookie, but a skilled 007. Maybe a very analytical agent and not too much of a brawler. But all 00s must have 2 kills to get that static.
Em really doesn't mind you earning a little money on the side, Dryden. She'd just prefer it if it wasn't selling secrets.
The theatrics are supposed to scare me. You have the wrong man, Bond. If Em was so sure I was bent, she'd have sent a 00. Benefits of being section chief. I don't know if anyone had been permitted a 00 status. No. Your file shows no kills, and it takes 2. Shame. We barely got to know each other. I know where you keep your gun. I suppose that's something. True. How did he die? Your contact? Not well. Made you feel it, did he? Well, you needn't worry. The second is...
But maybe his season as a 007 will be stopping the Y2K virus. Having its own time period with world events makes it unique. Having it as an anthology series allows different views of people to be represented, different actors with the 007 title, with different identities, with unique storytelling, by being new but not taken away from James Bond before the character reemerges and before they start having new movies once again. But my thoughts on the reboot is changing it up. Usually each new Bond is adapted to the time period. They're always making the new James Bond films as a contemporary of the times that we live in. So personally, I think that we could change it up slightly different. I think we should take it back to the 60s. The Cold War in Russia is still relevant. We can have the retro fashion and the technology with modern camera work and film work. And I believe that the template for the idea for this movie of a old-fashioned Bond in the 60s, you just gotta look at the movie The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Watch that movie with the image of Henry Cavill and imagine him with his British accent. That character that he played was an American version of Bond. Henry Cavill was a runner-up right before Daniel Craig got to the role. We need that man to shine. Give him 5 movies, justice for Henry Cavill, hashtag it. Or we can finish with the modern era, with the world established from Daniel Craig, and have that still be a continuation of the films, but we just have a new actor playing James Bond. But I don't think that's what the producer said that they were gonna do. But I did come up with a list, a personal list of actors who could be recasted as James Bond for the new set of films that I think would take on the role real well. So number 1 would be Henry Cavill. I mentioned him, you know, just a few seconds prior. I think he's amazing. I think he would be great. Richard Madden, the King of the North. King of the North! King of the North! If you watch The Bodyguard and Citadel, those are good tells that he'll be able to take on the action spy world real well. Luke Evans, I think he's a really underrated actor. And personally, if I was a producer, director, or somebody in that world, he would be my muse. Like Martin Scorsese with Robert De Niro, or Leonardo DiCaprio, or Ryan Coogler with Michael B. Jordan, and they always work together. Like, I will always cast Luke Evans. And then we have Tom Hiddleston. So you should watch The Night Manager. That was on AMC Plus, and watching The Night Manager was his audition for Bond. And then I also think of Aaron Taylor Johnson, his work in Bullet Train, and how he performed. It was minor, but in the latest Kingsman movie, I think that he would do a good job in that as well. And then we also have James Norton, and he was in the show called McMafia, and I definitely recommend that show. So it was like Breaking Bad and Michael Corleone analog, with this young man in a privileged world, but then he realized that not everything is all clean, so he has to adapt to that situation and how dirty everything else is. It's just a great deconstruction of a character, and he learns how to maneuver in that world. But I believe he did a beautiful performance, and the suits and some of the action stuff that he had to do, I just like, yo, he could be a good nominee from James Bond. So let me know your thoughts on the future of James Bond. Who would you cast as Bond? I've always been myself. I've tried to go against the YouTube mode because I wanted to be as authentic as possible. But we have a lot of stuff on the channel. We would love for you to see where we started, to see where we're going, and see where we're going. And we would like to be in a place to be able to do giveaways and give back to those who join the community. We've done Cash App in the past for our viewers for each milestone that we have. So haven't come up with that just yet, but it would just be much appreciated that we be able to continue to talk and have these coffee talks with a growing community, that we could be nerds all together. But with that being said, I'm gonna bring this video to an end. And thank you once again for taking the time out to watch this and be here with me, and have some coffee with me. And I'm gonna bring this video to an end, and I want you to be you, do you, see the bigger picture. Have a fantastic day, because you deserve it. This is that channel. Peace.
mouth, on top, Kung Fu, Bruce Lee chop, moon rocks, no Red Sox, tryna go far like Boondocks, headshot, blunt stay high, talking shit, gotta pull up on they block, you fraud, I'm Couchgod, nigga got a tax like a state charge, safe house, safe house, safe house, safe house.